right, hello and welcome. We'll wait just a few seconds here or so just to make sure we can get everyone logged on and situated and make sure everyone can hear us. But you've officially made it to the right place if you're looking for Indiana University. You're going to learn more about them today. Again, we will get started here in just a quick few seconds or so. We just want to make sure everyone can get logged on. Welcome. Let's see, I'll give it another it's already 2:01, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. So hello everyone, my name is Hannah and I am your facilitator for the day, or I guess for this session. And you've made it to the correct session if you're here for Indiana University. Before we get started, I just have a few little housekeeping items for you. First and foremost is please ask questions throughout. We would love to have you ask questions. This whole event is put on by the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan, and it's supposed to be a virtual college exploration for all Ohio students. So we're really excited that you are here to join us. And a big thing is that we want you to ask questions so you can get all of your questions answered and you can find out more information about colleges that you're interested in. So please ask questions using the Q&A button on your screen. You can type the questions to Megan here from Indiana University. She may answer them throughout, or she may wait to the end to answer questions. So just be patient. I promise you'll be able to see them. Another item that we want you to know is that your camera and your microphone are turned off. So we cannot see you, but you should be able to see us and hear us. And then another item we want you to know is that this is just one of many sessions that are being put on by the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. So please go ahead and check out the full schedule online at oacac.org. We'd love for you to attend other sessions and learn about other schools or learn about other topics in college admissions. And then this presentation is going to be recorded. So if you miss anything or forget to ask a question or anything like that, you can go back and watch the recording in about a week. It will be available at oacac.org. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Megan from Indiana University, and she will take it away.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm super excited to be talking to you about Indiana University Bloomington. My name is Megan Medine. I am a Senior Assistant Director in the Office of Admissions for Indiana University Bloomington. This is my 4th year in the office. This is my 3rd year recruiting students from Ohio. So I've been doing this for a minute. I love it. I love talking about IU. I graduated from IU. I double majored in journalism and history. So I was just doing a lot of reading and a lot of writing, and I really loved it. I love my experience so much that when I graduated, I decided to stay. And so I just love talking about IU. I love answering any and all questions you may have about IU. As I said before, if you have any questions at all about anything about the university, about my experiences as a student on campus, please feel free to ask, and I will go over questions at the end of the presentation. So let's go ahead and get started. So a little bit about what we're going to be discussing today, pretty much anything and everything about IU. We will discuss all of our majors, all of our schools, we'll discuss admission, we'll discuss scholarships, we'll discuss finding your place on campus, all of our different student clubs and organizations, all the different things that you can do while you're at IU. Something I'm really going to emphasize today is that there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of opportunity for you here. So Indiana University Bloomington, we are a large public Big Ten university in Southern Indiana. We are especially known for our diverse and welcoming community. We have more than 43,000 students on our campus, with about 33,000 of those being undergrads. They come from all 92 Indiana counties, all 50 states, 140 different countries. One of my favorite things about the university really is just the mix of students who we have on our campus. They represent a wide variety of cultural, socioeconomic, ethnic, and religious backgrounds. And NIU education is one of the world's best. Like I said before, you really have the ability to personalize your education. IU prepares you for the careers of tomorrow. This is where you're going to hone those essential skills, and you'll be taught and mentored by our amazing faculty while you're here. IU is made up of 12 schools. So the major that you choose will determine which school that you are in, but you are not confined to that school in any way. Like I said before, a lot of flexibility, a lot of opportunity. So while your main major may be in, the College of Arts and Sciences, you have the opportunity to add in a second major or even a third major or minors, from our other schools. We offer over 4,000 courses each semester and 200 plus majors for you to choose from. Like I said before, you can mix and match. Our students are allowed to have up to 3 majors and 3 minors. Now, you don't have to do all of that, of course, but students will do things like they'll have a major, a minor, and a certificate, maybe, major 2 minors, 2 majors, no minor. Again, it's entirely up to you. Now, if you don't find something that you like on our list of majors, that is totally okay. We do have an individualized major program, so you can create your own major if that's something that you're interested in doing. We've had plenty of students do that before. We had a student create underwater archaeology. We're a landlocked state, that's fine. We actually have a really great scuba diving program interested because we are next to the largest lake in Indiana. Now, there are a couple of different ways for you to enter your school or program. So nearly 60% of our incoming IU students will enter into University Division. And through this unique entry point at IU, students have that freedom to explore those multiple interests. You get guidance on combining majors and minors, and you design a course of study that's really perfect for you. So after you choose your academic path, University Division students will then apply to be within their school or major of interest and then complete the prerequisites to get into that school. So University Division really just houses students who are exploratory or students who are completing those prerequisites to get into their school. So that's 60% of our incoming students will enter there. And then while a majority of our students enter through University Division, you do have the opportunity to be directly admitted into your school. 10 out of 12 of our schools offer direct admission. The only 2 that don't are the School of Nursing and the School of Social Work. Now, direct admission is offered to students who meet certain academic criteria and have listed a major on their application from a school that offers direct admission. And if you qualify for direct admission, you will receive a notification of admission into your school after you receive an offer of admission to IU. So the way it works is that our office receives your application and we admit you just into the university as a whole. And then we see on your application that you're interested in business. So we send your application to the Kelly School of Business and they will review your application and decide whether or not to directly admit you. So typically students will hear from us, and then about 4 to 6 weeks later, they'll hear back from their school. And you'll only hear back from your school if you have been directly admitted. All the direct admission criteria vary for each of the schools. So depending on which school you're looking to get into, I'd recommend going to that school's website and seeing what their direct admit criteria are. If you aren't directly admitted into your school, don't worry about it. Only 40% of students are, and that doesn't mean that you can never enter that school or program. There's no right or wrong way to enter a school. There are just different ways. Now, a little bit about our class size and our faculty. Our average class size is 30 and our student to faculty ratio is 16:1. 65% of our undergraduate classes have fewer than 30 students. Our faculty are amazing. Our professors are leaders in teaching, research, performance. They are so awesome. All of our faculty are required to have office hours. They have to be accessible and available for you outside of the classroom. Whether that is through office hours, they offer one-on-one instruction, after hours review sessions, they sponsor clubs and organizations. So there are plenty of ways for you to connect with our faculty. They really are one of your greatest resources on a college campus, regardless of where you go. Even if you don't end up at IU, which is fine, I highly recommend a lot of things, but I highly recommend getting to know your faculty. Again, one of your greatest resources. They can point you in the direction of research opportunities, internship opportunities. They can write you letters of recommendation. I have a professor who I still talk to this day because I just went to his office hours all the time. So please go to office hours, get to know your faculty. They're really amazing. And then, of course, we have plenty of support centers on our campus for you. We want you to be successful while you're here. So every student will have an individual academic advisor who they can go to. You can go and you can ask questions and they can assist you with scheduling classes, things like that. If your major changes, if your program changes, your academic advisor will change as well, and we make it relatively easy for you to do that. On average, a student will change their major 3 to 4 times before they commit to one, and so we make it easy for you to switch majors. And then it's also easy for you to speak with advisors from other schools, because you don't have to be in a school to talk to an advisor from that school. If you're just interested, if you just want to learn more, you can sign up for a meeting with them. And then additional resources for academic support and success through our academic support centers, our student academic centers. We offer tutoring, we offer workshops and things like that, individual group tutoring, somebody to read over your essay. We have essay workshops. I love the Student Academic Center. They do a lot of great programs and things. They do things like a de-stress fest, which is really nice. And they also do short classes that you can take that focus on, how to take good notes, and how to take good math notes and how to figure out the best way for you to learn, which is really awesome. And then the Wells Library Learning Commons, just the entire first floor of Wells, is really awesome. They have group and individual spaces for you to work in. The group spaces are really nice. You can reserve them. They have TVs and whiteboards and things like that. In total, we have 24 different libraries on campus, so plenty of spaces where you can go and you can get your work done. You can do your research. And then typically we offer robust overseas studies programs, but due to the recent current public health crisis, there are some uncertainties surrounding future study abroad programs and opportunities, but I still wanted to take the time to tell you about what we offer. So our Office of Overseas Studies, we offer great support and resources to students, as they explore programs and while they're studying abroad. If you are interested in studying abroad, we have so many great options. We have 380 programs located in 50 different countries where you can study in 18 different languages, including English. There are no excuses. We are in the top 10 among research universities for the number of students who study abroad, with about 3,000 students who study abroad each year. And you can even earn credit and participate in internships as part of your overseas experience. What I love about our programs is that a lot of them are administered or co-sponsored by IU. So you'll receive credits, participate in internships. There are, scholarship opportunities tied to these programs. So please study abroad. We really want you to. We even have a passport service on campus because we want you to get your passport and we want you to study abroad. Like I said, when I was a student, I studied abroad and I studied abroad 3 times. I loved it so much. Travel bug is real. Please study abroad. So not only will you receive a world-class education with amazing academic opportunities and support services, but you'll also have thousands of opportunities to find your place on campus. We do require all first-year students to live on campus. We have 4 different residence halls. We have 13 different residence halls in 4 different neighborhoods. Our housing application comes out in early February, and it's on the housing application. You can put down your preference for which neighborhood you'd like to live in. And the sooner you complete the housing application, the better, because housing is assigned on a first come, first served basis. And our housing application is not tied to our intent to enroll. So you can do the housing application and then decide later whether or not you want to enroll in the university. So then you can take the time to make that decision. You don't have to worry about housing. I would recommend visiting the housing website. All of our residence halls are really different from one another. So that's the best place for you to go and explore the different residence halls and look at the pictures and the layouts and get a feel for which neighborhood you'd like to live in. And then lastly, I would recommend, I know I recommend a lot of things, but I would recommend looking into the learning communities. They're floors of students who live together because they have common interests of some sort. So for example, we have women in STEM, public health, we have outdoor adventures and activities, performing arts, if you're interested in media or business, education, things like that. It's nice because you're living with like-minded students and there's additional programming and, a faculty advisor who you get to spend time with as well, which is nice. Plenty involved on campus. We offer more than 750 different student clubs and organizations, a wide variety of things that students have created on our campus, things that focus specifically on your professional development or community service, getting involved in Bloomington, on the IU campus, things like that. Of course, we also have things like the hula hooping club and the squirrel watching club. They're actually very active, the squirrel watching club is. If you don't find something that you like, it's super easy to create your own club or organization. All you need is a few friends and a faculty sponsor. And then on top of that, we have 70 plus Greek life organizations with about 15 to 20% of students who will participate in those. And then we also offer 55 plus different club and intramural sports. You know, we have soccer and flag football, things like that. If you want to try your hand at log rolling, you absolutely can. We have 2 main gyms on our campus that are available for students to use. And then on top of that, IU and just Bloomington in general, we are very bike friendly. We're very pedestrian friendly. So it's really easy to, you know, stay active, whether you are in the gym or just outside exploring or just running through campus. If you do have a bike, I would recommend bringing a bike. And then we host over 1,500 plus artistic and cultural performances on our campus each year. Most of these are through our Jacobs School of Music. Students in the Jacobs School of Music are ridiculously talented. It's a highly ranked school, highly ranked programs. A lot of these, again, put on by students for students, so a lot of them are free, which is really nice. And even for professional productions that we bring to campus, if you do have to pay for them, they're usually heavily discounted. IU is 200 years old. We turned 200 this year. We were established in 1820, which is really exciting. So 200 is pretty old for the Midwest. So we have a lot of history. We have a lot of tradition. Something that students love to get involved in is the IU Dance Marathon. So what students will do is they will dance for either 12, 24, or 36 hours in a row to raise money for the Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis. They are the second largest student-run philanthropic organization in the nation, which is amazing. This past year, I think they break their own record every year, but this past year they raised like $4.3 million, which is so amazing. So definitely look into that organization, you know, talk to students who dance the whole 36 hours because I don't know how they do it. I love Culture Fest. At the beginning of the fall semester, all of our different cultural centers and some of our different student clubs and organizations will come out into our arts plaza and we set up a stage and there are performances and a lot of free food and it's super fun. Like I said before, students from all 50 states and 140 different countries are on our campus. And so Culture Fest is really wonderful because it's your first opportunity to really get to interact with and get to know your peers. We are a Division I school. We have 24 Division I sports. Our motto is 24 sports, one team, because while our students are playing 24 different sports, at the end of the day, we are all Hoosiers, and Hoosiers love to support each other. So 24 sports, one team. Our Hoosiers have earned 24 national team championships, including 8 in men's soccer and 5 in men's basketball. And our IU student athletes have won more than 140 NCAA individual titles. Definitely go to these sporting events. They're super fun. 22 are free for students to go and see. The only 2 that aren't free are football and men's basketball, but everything else is free. And then I already touched on the campus cultural centers a little bit, but a little bit more about them. I love them so much. They really just allow for community creation and celebration of our campus community. All of our cultural centers are in these houses along the same street, and their doors are always open to students. You know, if you want to participate in their events and their programming, they do a lot of great things throughout the year. So we have La Casa, LGBTQ+, First Nations, Asian Cultural Center, Neo Marshall Black Cultural Center. They're really, really, really great. We also have the Office of Disability Services for Students. And so what they do is they are dedicated to ensuring that students with disabilities have the tools, you know, support services and resources that allow for equal access and reasonable accommodations so you are successful while you're at IU. And then the Office of the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Multicultural Affairs, we just call them DEMA. They do a lot of great programming throughout the year. They provide academic support, scholarship opportunities, diversity education, anti-racism education, and other initiatives. One of my study abroad opportunities was actually offered through this office. So they do a lot of great, wonderful things throughout the year. And I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to visit campus, if not for an official visit, to go to a game or something like that. I love Bloomington so much, consistently named one of the most beautiful college campuses in the nation. We really do. Like I said before, that Hoosier hospitality is so real. We have a culture of care here on our campus. And we actually have an organization called Culture of Care, and their goal is really to inspire students to have the courage to care and demonstrate care through action. They have a lot of great resources and events and additional support for students on our campus. Bloomington really is just the quintessential college town. Like I said before, we're next to the largest lake in Indiana. We're also in the middle of 3 state parks. It's really easy to get off campus, to go hike, to go camp. There are also plenty of wonderful things to do in Bloomington. We have a really great local music scene. We have a music festival in the summer called Lotus Festival, which is super fun. If you have the opportunity to, I do recommend spending the summer in Bloomington. It's just really fun. And then we also have a lot of great international cuisine, which is surprising for a city that's in southern Indiana, but we do. So definitely recommend taking the time to visit. While we're not hosting on-campus visits right now, I don't know that we will this fall. My best guess is we might start in the spring. We do have a self-guided walking tour if you wanted to do that. It's just go.iu.edu/walking and -tour if you wanted to do that. And we also have links on our website. And then we know how important it is for you to apply knowledge that you gain in the classroom to real world settings. You know how essential that is to your academic experience. And so we have plenty of opportunities for that. We are a tier 1 research institution. We do a lot and we do it well. We have more than 200 research centers and institutes that offer opportunities not only in the hard sciences, but also in many fields like education, business, the arts. You can get involved in research as early as your first year. And then we do encourage students to seek out internship opportunities as early as their first year. You know, internships will allow you to connect with potential employers, help you gain experience, and try out future career paths. 4,200 4-credit internships were completed by IU students in 2018-2019, plus thousands more non-credit internships. If you are interested, we do offer the Hutton Honors College. Students from all schools and programs are invited to apply. If you hit our November 1st deadline, which is coming up, you'll automatically be considered for this through Hutton. That, you know, you can really narrow down your education. Smaller, more challenging courses, you have the opportunity to, you know, be invited to special seminars and events and speak with really awesome guest speakers. You also could live on the Hutton Honors floor if you wanted to. And you could also receive funding for studying abroad, for research that you're doing. Hutton is just really great. You'd have a Hutton advisor. And again, you'd just be taking a few honors courses each semester. And all students are automatically considered. If you aren't invited to apply, you can apply during your first year as a student on our campus. And our career services teams, you know, can assist with connecting you to experiential learning opportunities and future career paths. As I talked about before, we have more than 12 specialized career centers on campus. So you'll have a career advisor who you can go and you can speak with, and they can assist in your preparation for mock job interviews, you know, resume workshops. They host job and internship fairs in the fall as well as in the spring. If you're looking to continue your education after you leave IU, you know, going to medical school, law school, we don't have pre-med or pre-law tracks that you have to stick to. Instead, we have the Health Professions and Pre-Law Center, HIPLIC, and it's through HIPLIC that you work with an advisor all 4 years of undergrad, and they just make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do so that you are prepared, you know, to move on after you graduate from undergrad. Each year, we have more than 1,300 different organizations recruit on the IU campus. Our grads have found jobs in 46 different states and 29 different countries, and we also have one of the largest living alumni networks in the world with over 500,000 Hoosiers living worldwide. I bet everybody knows at least one Hoosier, somebody who's gotten a degree from IU, because we are everywhere. Whew, I know that was a lot of information in a short period of time. As I said before at the start of the presentation, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A and I will get to them at the end of the presentation. So no, you're all excited to apply now. I hope my seniors, you've already started the application or you've already submitted it because November 1st is coming up. In order to apply to IU, there are 3 different application platforms that you can use. We don't have a preference for which one you use. You know, we use the same review process for each one. There's the Apply IU application, the Common application, and the Coalition application. Entirely up to you, you know, which one you'd like to use. In order to have a complete application, you need to submit these things. We need your completed online application. The application fee is $65, or if you're eligible, there is fee waiver information on our website. We need your IU-specific essay, which is 200 to 400 words. Something I want to note is that for the Common application, the required essay is called the Writing Supplement for Indiana University Bloomington. I know that the Common App has built-in essays. You don't have to do those for us. You only have to do the required essay, which is the Writing Supplement. We will need your official high school transcript sent directly from your high school. And then your SAT and or ACT scores, if applicable. We have gone test optional, which I will talk about in a minute. I've already mentioned this date a couple of times, November 1. It's our early action non-binding deadline and the deadline for maximum scholarship consideration. So you want to make sure you hit this deadline. If you haven't requested to have your transcript sent to us yet, I would do that immediately because it takes some time for us to receive and process those. Just keep that in mind. You want to make sure you hit this deadline. Excuse me. So when you apply, you have the option to share either official or self-reported scores on your application. And if you're offered admission, the offer will be contingent upon us receiving those official test scores from the testing agencies, and they must match or be higher than what you self-reported. Now, as I mentioned before, IU has adopted a test optional admissions policy. So you can choose at the point of application whether to have your test scores considered as part of your admissions review, really letting you decide how best to tell your academic story. Research indicates that for most students, your high school GPA paired with your test scores provides the best prediction of academic success at IU. But for some students, they feel like their test scores don't really show all that they're capable of or their full potential. And so each individual student, we're allowing you to determine whether or not, again, you want us to review those test scores. We have various resources and guidance, available through our office on our website or through your counselor, which is me. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out. Something special that we're doing this year for our seniors, in order to be as flexible as possible, we are allowing you to change your mind. So if you hit that November 1 deadline and maybe you haven't been able to test, or maybe you've only tested once and you don't like your score, we've updated our process to allow you to apply test optional at the point of application. And if you wish, you can have your scores considered later, and we will then review your application for admission and scholarships. So if you hit that November 1 deadline and you are able to take a test and you want us to review your application with those scores, you can self-report or send your official scores through January 15th and still be considered for early action. So all you have to do is go to that link, go to iu.edu/test-optional. And you can find more information on our website there. And it'll also have a link to the form that you need to fill out. And then admission to IU is selective, and we consider factors that emphasize academic performance and preparation throughout your entire high school career. So first, we're looking for those completed 34 credits of college preparatory courses. We focus on English, math, science, social science, and foreign language. We will review and consider the rigor of your coursework, AP, IB honors, dual credit, things like that. We will also look at your cumulative weighted or unweighted GPA, whichever one is higher. We're going to look at grades in your college preparatory courses. We're going to look at grade trends. We're going to look for inconsistencies, things like that. And then your test scores, SAT and or ACT, if you want us to review those, we will. We do super score. So if you've tested multiple times and you decide you want us to review your test scores, I would send us all of your scores. And then the essay is, again, 200 to 400 words. You'll be asked to describe your academic and career plans, any special interests that you have. This is also a space where you can talk about any challenges you have faced and overcome in pursuit of your education. We will take additional factors into consideration, supplemental information, that's not required, but we can take into account, if you'd like, one counselor recommendation, one teacher recommendation. And then as we're looking through your application, we'll look at extracurricular activities, community service, work and leadership experience, things like that. We receive over 43,000 applications every single year, and every single one is looked at by person, touched by person. On average, we will review an application about 3 to 4 times before we make a decision. We are very, very thorough, and we practice a holistic review process, meaning that we take into consideration everything that you send us. We're always looking for reasons to admit students. So just be thorough, have your friend read over your application, a parent, guardian, teacher, counselor, before you submit it to us. So to provide additional context, here is our middle 50% for students who are admitted in 2020. This is just to give you an idea of what a competitive applicant looks like. These are by no means minimums that you have to have. We admit students 25% below and 25% above. This is just to give you an idea. And then here is a timeline. If you hit that November 1 deadline, you'll receive a response no later than January 15th. Our regular decision deadline is February 1st, and applications we receive after February 1 are considered on a space available case-by-case basis. You don't have to worry about any of that if you just hit November 1. We've already started releasing decisions to students, which is super exciting. So finish your application if you haven't yet. Now, IU offers many academic scholarship opportunities, and all students, again, if you complete an application by November 1st, you're automatically considered for these scholarship opportunities. So the IU academic scholarships are awarded based on information provided when you apply. No additional information is needed. You're automatically considered. We have the Dean Scholarship for out-of-state students. It ranges from $1,000 to $11,000 a year, and it's 4-year renewable. Again, nothing additional you need to do, just hit November 1. If you're offered something, you'll receive a letter in your admit packet that will have information about what you've been offered. And then based on your application, it will determine your eligibility for a number of selective scholarships, and selective scholarships are given by specific schools, programs, departments, things like that. So kind of depending on who you are and what you want to study, you might be eligible for some, you might not be eligible for others. It just kind of depends. If you are eligible for some, you receive an email from the Office of Scholarships that will have information about filling out the selective scholarship application. And that is usually due mid-January. Please fill out the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, that opens October 1st of your senior year. You could be eligible for grants, loans, work study, things like that. But please fill this out in order to be considered for full consideration, federal financial aid. Our office, our Student Central office, which is kind of our one-stop shop for everything related to financial aid and things like that, they will start sending out financial aid notices to students throughout February and March. And then next steps, if you haven't done so already, please complete your application by November 1. You've got time. Submit the FAFSA. My seniors, please don't get senioritis. If you are admitted and you decide to attend IU, we do require a final high school transcript, so please don't get senioritis. Take the SAT or ACT if you want to. Again, you can apply test optional if you'd like. Make sure you have all those 34 credits that we require. And then lastly, here is my contact information. If you have any additional questions about anything at all as you're completing the application, please feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email. You can give me a pretty quick to respond. Are there any questions at the moment? Doesn't look like there are. Oh, there's one. A question: what does the nursing program cover? Are you asking for specific classes, or? I'm not sure I understand the question. Classes. Okay, I see. That's a good question. What I'm going to recommend that you do, if you haven't done so already, since the School of Nursing is one of our schools that doesn't offer direct admission, I know that our nursing advisors like to talk to students who are interested in the School of Nursing and want to apply. The sooner you learn about how to apply to our BSN program and talk to an advisor, the better. So I'd recommend reaching out to Debbie, and I am going to send you her email. I think she would be in the best position to answer questions that you have about classes, classes that you take, and just kind of how it works. Are there any other questions? All right.
All right, thanks, Megan. I know I learned a lot from you. I mean, I didn't know much about Indiana University, so I learned a lot. I'm sure the students did as well. I'm gonna go ahead and reshare my screen for everyone. Let's see. Just one final slide for everyone to see and a few last minute announcements. So first of all, thanks for joining us again today. Thanks for listening to Megan and learning about Indiana University. When y'all close this window, there's going to be a link to a really quick 4-question survey. We'd really appreciate that y'all fill that out. We appreciate any feedback that you can provide. So please take just a quick 30 seconds to fill out that quick survey. Also, like I mentioned earlier, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted by OACAC and StriveScan. So please be sure to sign up for additional sessions at oacac.org. That's the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling. We'd love to have you learn about other schools as well. And then in about a week, you'll be able to find this particular recording on that same website, oacac.org, along with all the other recordings of the different schools and topics. So definitely check out that website. It's very helpful, lots of information. And that's about all we have for y'all today. So thank you for being here. Thank you to Megan and Indiana University, and see y'all later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.